Now that we have our stickers made, we are going to add one more element to our sketchbook. So we're going to need newspaper, some masking tape. We're going to need a sketchbook. So these are those little ones that were donated to our classroom. We're going to need a squeegee and 3 to 4 colors of paint. So I'm just going to use 3 for this demonstration. You would also want to have some paper towel. So I'm going to start first by taping a border off on my sketchbook. So, masking tape, just trying to find the edge there. And once I have this started, I'm just going to take a piece and I'm going to tear off just enough to go maybe about an inch past the left and right side of the sketchbook. And I'm going to line up the edge of the masking tape to the sketchbook, and I'm actually taping it to the newspaper. And I'm leaving the newspaper folded in half. This is a full section of newspaper, so it's pretty thick, and I'm leaving it folded as is. So I'm going to do that to all 4 sides. So I'm going to again tear off a piece of tape slightly longer than the side I'm working with. In this case it's the top, and secure it down to the newspaper and the tape to the sketchbook. So just the other 2 sides are a little bit longer, so of course I'm going to need longer tape. This is the side of the spine of the sketchbook. So again, I'm lining up to it, securing it down, and one more side. Again, make the tape a little bit longer than that side, and I'm going to once again place it and secure it to the newspaper. So I'm going to now need my squeegee, I'm going to need my colors of paint, and I'm going to need a piece of paper towel. So the paper towel I'm just going to keep folded, and I put it off to the side. And this is just to help keep my squeegee clean as I do this swipe method. So I'm going to be using 3 colors. I'm using a metallic blue. This is blue sapphire. So it's going to have a little bit of a shimmer. I'm going to use an ivory white. So it's slightly off-white. And I'm going to use purple pansy. So it's going to be a darker purple. Now that box has a lot of different values and different colors, and we keep them organized in a color range. So the first thing I want to do is shake the paint, make sure it's mixed up. So notice I'm always keeping, whether it's my thumb, my index finger, I'm keeping some sort of appendage on that cap as I shake. I'm going to put the paint on the tape. We do not want to start the paint inside of the tape. We want to start the paint on the tape. And you see my squeegee here has this little bevel. That little bevel edge goes down onto the sketchbook when I swipe the paint. So it doesn't matter which side or area I start the paint at. I am always going to start on the tape and end on the tape. I can turn my sketchbook around to swipe. I can turn it any direction. I find it comfortable to swipe down, but it's always going to go tape to tape. I do not want to start on the tape and end in the middle, and I do not want to start in the middle or just move around in the middle. I want to make sure the paint goes from tape edge to tape edge. The movement between those 2 edges is up to you. Now when I do the paint here, I just need a thin line, and I want it slightly shorter than the width there of my squeegee. So I'm just going to put a little line bead of paint. I did not get any on my cap. If I did, I would take my paper towel and clean it up, because the paint buildup makes it hard for those caps to close. So again, this beveled part I'm going to use to swipe the paint. So I put it on top, I start, and I'm just going to start swiping, and move. I can go straight down. I think for this one I'm just going to do a couple of curves here and then continue back down to the bottom. So again, I went from tape to tape. I'm not going to swipe over it again. Once I do one swipe, I'm done. Now if I have a lot of paint on my squeegee, I can very carefully open up my bottle of paint and scrape that paint off into it. This is only going to work if you picked up no other wet paint while swiping. So since this is my first color, that was easy to do. Then I just take off any excess on the paper towel. So I have a little bit of thicker buildup areas in a couple of places. Those parts are going to be still wet, but that thin area is dry. So now I'm going to decide which color next. I'm going to go here with the metallic blue. Again, I shake it up. When I'm shaking it, I make sure the lid is secure. And for this one, you can see there's a little bit of paint smeared on it. Someone did not clean it, but again, I'm going to do a small line of the paint, nothing wider than my squeegee, and see, that's why I want to clean it off before I close it, so that we don't have that buildup. So if someone else forgets to clean it up, or you forgot, just go back and clean it. So again, that beveled edge, I'm going to start with the paint, and I'm going to just do a corner here. And you can do something like this. So I have paint on my squeegee. Again, I don't want to go over the same spot again, but I can carry that paint that's on my squeegee over to another area and do another swipe. So I'm going to try to turn this a couple of times, very close to that first swipe area, but I'm avoiding it. Not too bad. Because of those turns, I was kind of twisting my hand around. I got a little bit of a skipping space there. That little bit I picked up just to try to lighten it a little bit, but again, I'm not swiping over it again. And then again, if I have paint on my squeegee yet, I can do some different areas, but again, notice I started on the tape and I ended on the tape. I did not just work in the middle. So I do have some extra paint here. I did not see any purple picked up from it, so I'm swiping that into the bottle, closing that up. Metallic here seemed to have a little bit of troubles with the lid wanting to go back on, so I don't know if it's just that bottle or others. And I'm going to clean off the squeegee here. Again, get off that blue. So that leaves me with my third color, and this is going to be the ivory white. Now see here where the paint is thicker, it's not dry yet there. So when I swipe my ivory over top of those areas, if I happen to do so, it could potentially drag some of that paint with it. So I'm going to come down from the corner. I'm going on the side here. And again, just start swiping. I start on the tape. I'm going to pivot here, work my way around and down here. So again, I'm not going to swipe over it a second time. I can't put this in the bottle because you can see there it did pick up some blue paint. So I'm just going to wipe it off on the paper towels. And that's it. My swiping is done. I've used all three colors. And so I'm going to put my name on the newspaper, and then I'm going to take the newspaper over to the drying rack and store it in the section that you were told to for your class period. Now the squeegee I'm going to take to the sink, and I'm just going to use some water, and I'm going to wash it off. And my paints I'm going to return to the storage boxes, again putting them in the color sections. And I'm going to go to the next day. So here we are the next day. This has sat on the drying rack for a couple of days. It's completely dry. I've washed my squeegee after painting, so you can see there it stains a little bit, but it is clean. And now it is time for me to remove it from the paper. So I'm just going to peel the masking tape off. And when I peel this, it doesn't matter if I go up or down, but I want to peel away from the center and not in towards it. And that is because if I peel in towards it, I could potentially rip my painting. So I'm just going to slowly peel up, see how I'm angling towards the outside edge. Sometimes that does happen, it tears, so I just get it started again. And once I have it started again, I again will peel with leaning that tape towards that outside edge. And I'm going to do that to all 4 sides. So of course take off the tape that's on top first, so that's going to be my 2 long sides. So the last 2 I tape down. And again, going to start peeling it. There it started to tear again. You can see here some of the cover is coming off. It's a pretty thick cover, so it's not going to hurt. And again, if I had been tearing towards the middle, that would have taken off my paint. So by angling towards that outer edge, I may take a little small surface area of the cover off, but it's not going to affect my painting in the middle. And any little pieces I want to get peeled off. So let me get these other 2 sides peeled away. So there my sketchbook is done for this side. So, you know, I'm looking around here. I got a little bit of paint over the edge, just going to kind of scrape that off a little bit. If I got any paint on my pages, that's okay. I can just try to take off any dry parts that are willing to come off. Otherwise, I just separate the pages again. It's not going to hurt anything. If I have a little tiny bit of paint that just kind of leaked over the side of the edge. So there is my sketchbook with my swipe painting and border. So this, on the next day, we would do the same process on the back. I'd need my masking tape again, I would need my squeegee again, and I'd need paper towels and my 3 to 4 bottles of paint color. And you can use different paint colors on the back as you did from the front. And what we're going to do then, after that part is done, is we're going to place our name on both sides. So we're going to use our one side of our sketchbook for homework assignments and the other side of the sketchbook for in-class drawing. So then that leads us to the last part, which is our stickers. And we're going to take our stickers that we made and we're going to place them on our cover. Where and how is up to you. I can place them off the edge and even cut parts of them off. I could wrap them around the spine if I wanted to, but I do have to remember that the back side is also a cover and that would be upside down. So it's something to consider. How am I going to place my stickers on my cover to finish this? But that is going to be our assignment. We're going to do our swipe paintings, apply our name, and then place our stickers on our covers back and front. Again, how and where is going to be up to you, and that will be our finished product. So again, going to take the time to do a little bit of a background, what we call a swipe painting, single layers, single swipes. We do not want to go over it. We want to stay within a border, and then of course clean up. Make sure your work area is nice and clean, no paint, no tape, or anything.